well, when the penalty happened and we're behind the chains. No, stop saying but. I just told you the clock was running and we had a penalty. You want to give them the ball back? No, you don't play. You don't know it. That's just plain and simple. Was I happy with the drive? No, we didn't score points. That's the dumbest question you could ask. What? Jesus, Tony.
That was Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield on Wednesday, and later he tweeted that he's frustrated. If he offends anybody along the way, that's too bad. Teammate Odell Beckham Jr. defended his QB yesterday.
You can't sit here and say it's all on him, you know what I mean? We have to take a look at everything that's going on around him. And obviously he has to play better. I have to play better. Jarvis has to play better. Chubbs, we all have to do better. We all need to do better. You can't sit there and be like it's Baker's fault. Like, I feel like that's the easiest thing for us to do. And I've been in situations, where one person's getting the blame and the rest of the people are quiet, just to kind of stay out of the fire. Like, I'm going to jump in the fire with them. I'll be the first one.
All right, the Browns are 2-5 and play the Broncos at Mile High on Sunday. Stephen A. Smith, how would you fix the Browns this season?
I would demote the coach. I would demote the coach, Freddie Kitchens. It's not going to happen. Please don't get me wrong. But we're talking about what I think would be best. I think you get him back to being the offensive coordinator, having the responsibility to work with the quarterback, Baker Mayfield, the quarterback that the quarterback that wanted this man as his coach. And you prioritize him dealing with that side of the football and just leave the overseer role to somebody else, because that clearly isn't Freddie Kitchens at this particular moment in time. You can bring up problems with the quarterback. You can bring up problems with the passing game. You can bring up problems with Odell Beckham Jr. The common denominator in all of this is Freddie Kitchens. You could bring up discipline, lack thereof, focus, lack thereof, game planning, lack thereof. Everything falls back to Freddie Kitchens. There is not one single thing that has happened to the Cleveland Browns this season that you can avoid having Freddie Kitchens' names attached to it. You can bring up Baker Mayfield. You can bring up Odell Beckham Jr. The only thing that Freddie Kitchens is removed from is Kareem Hunt being on the commissioner's list. Kareem Hunt getting suspended. That's about to end. That's the only thing he had nothing to do with. Every single thing else that has plagued the Cleveland Browns, one name is in every single sentence, no matter what player you bring up, because it speaks to discipline or lack thereof, focus, lack thereof, defense, offense, offensive line, protecting, run blocking, Baker Mayfield, interceptions, plays called, Odell Beckham Jr. not getting enough action, not getting enough passes thrown his way. The coach sitting there saying, what is he talking about? We targeted him 7 times. He's your best player. You targeted him 7 times. Every single thing comes down to Freddie Kitchens, which says a second-year quarterback didn't need a rookie as his head coach. Like Freddie Kitchens, I think he's got a lot of promise, but I think too much too soon. In the last 8 months, the man went from a positional coach to an offensive coordinator to a head coach. It does not happen. It happened for him. It shouldn't have.
Sure. Freddie Kitchens is most to blame, you could say. And if Greg Williams was still on the staff, I'd be with you. Demote Freddie Kitchens, give Greg Williams the job, because it worked last year. Yeah, they had a soft schedule at the end of last year. Guess what they have now? A soft schedule coming up. So I'd agree with you, but Greg Williams is not there. So I don't know that there's a magic bullet. There, as you acknowledged, there probably isn't. If I have to point to one thing, this is what I say. Baker Mayfield has to play better. In spite of what else is around him, he has to play better than he's been playing. And one of the reasons the media reacted, and you reacted, Stephen A., and so did I, and Damian Woody, to the way he treated that reporter is because Baker, even if that was a stupid question in your opinion, when you go back and look at tape, you look at film, that don't lie. And you're going to find out you made a lot of stupid choices or you'd be doing better, right? So just because he didn't identify the ones you're like, damn, I messed up. But don't act like they're not there. Don't use that as an excuse to bounce and not take accountability in front of the media. And I'm a fan of Baker Mayfield's, less now than I used to be. But let me tell you why it's so important for him to really play better. The reason I thought this would work in Cleveland, in spite of all the egos and the guys who put up big numbers, is because game recognize game. Real recognize real. And so I didn't think it'd be a problem if Odell didn't get a lot of targets, because he'd be like, Landry's a baller, Nick Chubb's a baller, Njoku can ball, my quarterback's a baller. This one, what I saw from Odell in that clip, he's trying to do the right thing. But I suspect, I haven't spoken to anyone about Odell, nothing like that. I suspect Odell is starting to have questions about whether or not his quarterback is a baller.
So you didn't believe him stepping up and saying that?
No, I think
lip service?
No, I think he's telling the truth. He wants that to be true. He's for his team. Odell's a team player. But you'll lose Odell, in my opinion, if it's like, wait a minute, I'm not getting targeted, and you're not using double coverage on me to find anyone else open. And like, wait a minute, I thought what I was getting traded to, even if it's Cleveland and not a big market and everything, was we had a baller who could get me the ball. If he starts to lose confidence in that, now you're going to have a problem. And that's the first little fissure, the first little crack I've seen in where I think, this could go really bad in a hurry. Because I still think they could win their next game if they don't have a tough schedule. But if Odell looks and because there's one guy you cannot deny as a baller, that's Odell. That's why yesterday when you said, is he having a disappointing season? Well, he needs a guy to get in the ball. There are some guys who should be impervious to that, right? Even though he's a receiver, Odell is such a baller down to the core of him that like he should be able to put up numbers regardless. If he starts to feel like, yeah, the coach, 10 penalties a game, the average is like 4 or 5, we get 10 a game. The line hasn't come together yet, whatever. But if he thinks, nah, man, that guy can't get me the ball, they're going to have a problem.
Well, listen, here's the deal. First of all, when you talk about the mistake that Baker Mayfield made, and he made a mistake, he should look at the tape, etc. How about this? There's several other reporters there that may not have had stupid questions. Why'd you walk away because one reporter got on your nerves? Ignore him and talk to the rest. What's the problem? You understand? It seems to me like your problem is bigger than the question from the reporter. Your problem, the real problem that's going on is that this team is stinking up the joint, and you have a lot to do with it. Now, again, I don't blame Baker Mayfield as much as I blame Freddie Kitchens because particularly I still remember that Baker Mayfield is a second-year quarterback. Are you putting him in positions to succeed? Are you protecting him? There have been times he's out there looking like he's running for his life. Your offensive line isn't protecting him. You're running the football effectively. Why don't you do it more? If you can't find Odell Beckham Jr., make sure you create opportunities to get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball. That's on Freddie Kitchens. And I look at Baker Mayfield. You can't go from having the success that you had last year with everybody saying that you could play to you all of a sudden not knowing how to. You know what, Freddie, it wasn't just the players that were feeling themselves coming into the season. It was Freddie Kitchens feeling himself. He was caught up in the sauce as well, walking around, sticking his chest out, acting like they had won something, that they had accomplished something. You ain't accomplished a damn thing. You know what? You elevated yourself to a level where you're getting more and more exposed every single day. The higher somebody climbs up a tree, the more they show there, you know what? That's what's happening to Freddie Kitchens right now.
So clearly you are critical of Freddie Kitchens. Let's say there was some other coach that was coaching the Browns that you thought was better. Do you think that Baker Mayfield would then be a franchise-level type quarterback?
I'm not sure if he would be a franchise-level quarterback, but I think he'd be better than what we're seeing right now. Okay. And that's really, really the key. He's in his second year. Now, obviously, we're a bit spoiled because we look at Patrick Mahomes and the way that he's balling. We're looking at Sean Watson and the way that he's balling, etc. We get all of that. But the flip side is that Baker Mayfield, he's no scrub. I still think he's a bit undersized. Would I have taken him number 1 overall? I don't think I would have. I think I would have taken Sam Darnold before I took him. But I will say he has shown he can ball. And you don't go from looking the way you looked last year. When Freddie Kitchens was your offensive coordinator, pushing, if Baker Mayfield deserves to be indicted for anything, Max, it was him pushing for Freddie Kitchens to have this job.
Yeah.
And if John Dorsey deserves to be highlighted for anything, it's him allowing a rookie quarterback entering his second year to have any say on who his head coach will be. Who the hell are you puppy? Wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. Who the hell are you to decide who the next head coach is going to be? You better sit your behind down.
I know Njoku is hurt.
Yes, Njoku is hurt.
But you're about to get Kareem Hunt, who you've never had. Right. If he's not an elite running back, he is the very next thing to it. And you have Nick Chubb, and you have Odell, and you have Jarvis Landry. And the line, even though Zeitler's gone, hasn't had a great year himself, Zeitler, but the line has now had a half a season to come together. At a certain point, it's the coach and the quarterback. But what I'm saying, Stephen A., is the coach ain't going nowhere this season, right? So it is going to be – the reason I would have taken Baker first is not only that he put up the best college numbers that translated best to the pros, but he has that thing about him. Like, okay, Baker, now the rubber meets the road. What are you going to do? I know it's the coach too, but okay, no excuses. You got a lot of weapons. Do something with them. Win. I thought you were a winner.
Can they make the playoffs still at this point?
Yes, I will. But they lose this upcoming game, I'm off the wagon. But right now, 2-5 was my worst case scenario. Now the schedule gets better. Baker Mayfield's got to lead this group of guys.
Can they make the playoffs?
I don't think they will. I had a question mark about that coming into the season. I wasn't caught up like everybody else was about the Cleveland Browns. I knew you had to go out and play the games. And I said a second-year quarterback and a rookie head coach. Don't give me all of this other stuff. Everybody talk about their talent. I said, watch, this is football, man. There's plenty of times the most talented dudes get humbled. Why? Because your chest gets caved in, you get knocked upside your head, or you run into other coaches who are just brilliant at taking away your best weapons and forcing you to expose who you truly, truly are. Freddie Kitchens, I believe, has the potential to be a really good coach in this game because some of his play calling I've been impressed by. But in the end, he ain't ready.
He's not an executive.
He's not ready. He's not an executive. And that you're going up against.
You got to have an executive quality to be a head coach, and he doesn't have that.
He doesn't have that.
Not yet.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up on this conversation. Much more to come on First Take. Will Tua's injury derail another Alabama title run? We'll ask our friend Tim Tebow.
Are you a buyer or seller right now?